Hello learners, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sagar.Utekar and thank you again for watching this solution series. As you know, we are currently creating solution videos for our season 1 of Daily DevOps SRE challenge series. So far we have published solution for our day 1 challenge, day 2 challenge and part 1 of day 3 challenge is also uploaded. Please make sure you watch those videos before going ahead. Today we are going to solve actual day 3 challenge and this is going to be a pure practical video. Okay, perfect. So just what are the prerequisites for today's session? We are going to need AWS free tier account and we will create, mainly we will use two AWS services, which is AWS IAM and AWS EC2. Okay, and on AWS we will create EC2 instances, on top of which we will install Nginx as a reverse proxy to access our Grafana and Jenkins. So that is main practical which we are going to do. Perfect. What next? So let's get started directly into our AWS account. So you need to log in into your AWS account. This is my free tier account. I'll try to show all the practicals on my free tier account. I don't have any credits, but it will charge some very little amount for my account now. Okay. One more thing, I have enabled multi-factor authentication to improve the security of my AWS account. So make sure you also enable the multi-factor authentication, and along with the password it will also ask you the MFA code. Okay, perfect. So it will allow us to enter into AWS account with correct credentials. Okay. And then you can go to AWS EC2 service. This is the main service which we are going to use. Using EC2 service we are going to create virtual servers. Yeah, now you will see there are no currently AWS EC2 instances running. To save some cost, we are going to create two instances. So let's get started. Let's create first instance. By the way, I am creating all these instances in Mumbai region, so you can choose based on your um, you know region wise or the priority. So I'll start creating first instance and you can choose one of these operating system image. I'll choose Ubuntu and I'll go with T2.micro for this exercise, which is free tier releasable. It will provide one CPU, 1 GB of memory, and it is current generation instance, and this is the costing. So this is enough for us. Next we will create a key pair, day 3 challenge. Okay, this is going to be our key pair to remotely access our instance. Once you click on create key pair, it will save the file, payM file, which is private key, into your machine, and all other details you can keep same. So we are going to use the default VPC. We will have the public IP enabled for this instance and create a security group. So security group is nothing but your firewall for this instance. A security group is a set of firewall rules that control the traffic for your instance. Okay, so what we are saying, allow SSH traffic from anywhere. Instead of anywhere, I can make it my IP. So this will allow SSH to this instance from my machine. Okay, and storage and everything will be same, number of instances one. So let's launch this in our first instance. Similarly, we will need one more instance. So I'll give this name as second instance, and this time I will use Amazon Linux um, instead of Ubuntu. So we will have the good understanding of both the operating system images. Rest of details we can keep same. Key pair you can use same. Okay, allow SSH from my IP, and that is it. Launch the second instance. So what we will do, we will use the first instance for Nginx installation and Grafana installation, and second instance, on second instance we will install the Jenkins. All the steps are available and mentioned on my GitHub repository, which is Learn with Sagar. My account name is GitHub account name is Sagar.Utekar, and repository name is Learn with Sagar. If you check this folder, daily challenges day3 solution.md, you will find the step-wise solution here. Okay, so our first instance is getting created. Many of you will know how to access the instance remote instance from the local machine. Just copy the public IP address. Okay, and on from your machine, from your local machine, just type ssh-i, the public private key file, username @IP address. First time it will fail, and the error is permission 0644 for day3 challenge.pem are to open. So we need to modify the file permission. Run command chmod 400 day3 challenge.pem. So we are keeping the file permission 400. Okay, now let's try again. This time we are able to SSH into our first instance. Okay, let's do for the second instance as well. Copy the public IP address. Okay, ssh-i, same public private key file. ssh-i, what is the path? Okay, private key file name is day3 challenge. Okay, day3 challenge, username and IP address. But it is giving a error. Why? Let me tell you. The second instance is created using Amazon AMI, and that is the main reason why we are not able to SSH using the same command. If you check here, let me log out. We ran the same command, only the IP address got changed. It is the same command, but still we are not able to access it. If I run this for the first instance, I am able to do it. The reason is the user for the Amazon AMI based images, the default user is EC2 user. So make sure you change the username while accessing the second instance. Let me clear this. This is the reason why I wanted to show the practical on two different AMIs. Okay, now we are into second instance console. Same here, this is the first instance and this is the second instance. Perfect. Now I want to show one of best practices for the AWS, which is not part of our day3 challenge. If you see here, this is our day3 challenge. All the challenges are available on the Google Groups, but still I wanted to cover and give you some additional knowledge as part of this video. You must have noticed What we did so far, we created our EC2 instance, launched the EC2 instance, gave the name, selected OS image, then we chose the instance type, we created key pair, and that key pair got saved or downloaded on our local machine. Then we modified the network setting, we created security group, and security group created the default rule, or we opt for this rule, allow SSH traffic from anywhere or from my machine. Okay, what if I tell you you can still log into this instance without needing of SSH port open or key pair to be maintained? So this is our security group, and currently we have SSH port open for this instance. Okay, that is where the additional topic which I wanted to cover comes, the AWS Systems Manager, Session Manager. So Session Manager is fully managed AWS System Manager tool, which allow you to do all these operations. The main our interest is in there. With the Session Manager, you can connect to remote instance, same as SSH, but without opening inbound port, and no need to manage bastion host or SSH keys. That is very, very important. So you don't need to maintain SSH port open on the security groups. Okay, and you don't need to create separate bastion host or create SSH keys maintained or downloaded on your local machine. Just assume that you have downloaded the SSH key on your local machine and someone gets the access to your machine. They can do anything on those remote instances. That is very insecure, and extra risk and extra task for the person who have that SSH key. With the session manager, you can do one click and manage nodes from console or AWS CLI as well. Okay, you can connect to both AWS EC2 instances and AWS non EC2 managed nodes in hybrid and multi-cloud environments. It supports for Windows, Linux, and Mac, and it also logs all the activities using CloudTrail, S3, CloudWatch, and EventBridge. And all those capabilities are available with Session Manager, which means it will know who created a session and it will track all those activities. Okay. So this is a one thing which we are going to use, and there is very good explanation about what is session. Let's say someone named John is on-call engineer and he wants to connect to remote machine using SSH or something, but instead of that he can start creating a session for a managed node and run commands that will create a session between his local machine and the remote machine. Once the task is completed, he can end that session. The only thing is there are prerequisites to use the session manager. The list is provided here. Complete session manager prerequisite. It support major operating systems, Linux, Mac OS, Windows. The second prerequisite is that you need to have the SSM agent running on your machine. So there is very good um, list of, yeah. So if you choose one of these AMIs which comes with SSM agent pre-installed, and we use the Amazon Linux AMI for our second instance, and for our first instance we use Ubuntu server, which means we already have the SSM agent running. We can verify that. Okay, we'll do that in some time. Then you need to have the connectivity to these endpoints, and you can access it using AWS CLI, or you can use the AWS console as well. Then yeah, so this is very important thing, verify IAM service role permissions. So for that instance, particular instance, you need to provide this role or the policy. You need to attach this policy with the instance to as a session manager to work. Okay, So let's do that. We already have the session agent running. Now the second thing is we need to attach this policy. How we can do that? Let's select the first instance, and since these instances are running, we will go to the actions, security, and modify IAM role. We will check that I'll show from this catch. So we will create a new IAM role. Okay, let's create a new role. EC2 and select the permission policy. So this is AWS managed permission policy which we are going to use. Give name to your role, AWS session SSM, fine. Okay, so this role we are going to attach to our instance. Update IAM role. Same process. Now we can use the same IAM role for the second instance as well. Go select the instance, click on action, modify IAM role, and select the role name. You can verify the role is attached by selecting the instance, and in the details you will see the IAM role is attached now. For the first instance, let's verify. Yes, so IAM role is attached. Now let's verify one more thing, that is if our SSM agent is running properly. So to verify SSM agent is running, we can run the systemctl status Amazon SSM agent command. Okay, our agent is running, but it is in error state. What did it say? Let's restart this agent. It may need to restart sometime. Okay, for Ubuntu we need to run the different command. Okay. Let's restart the agent on both the nodes. Verify the status. Now you will see the SSM agent is running and in the healthy state for both the instances, and we should be able to access these instances using session manager. Okay, so now we can get rid of these security groups or these particular inbound rule, SSH inbound rule which we created. So let me delete this and save this. Okay, similarly for other instances as well. Modify the inbound rule. I'm going to remove this and I'll show you that without opening the SSH port we still able to access it. Okay, now we can close this. We don't need this thing, so let's close this. To access instances using session manager, either you can use the AWS console or you can use the AWS CLI as well. So I'll go with the console and show you. We will select the first instance, click on connect, and from the connect to instance options there is session manager option. So click on connect, and in the next tab it has created session for the user. Okay, now you can do normal operation same as our local machine connection. Perfect. So this is what the best practice, and you can use the CLI as well if you wish to connect the instance using session manager, but that we can cover. You can explore that part. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now we have our both the instances running, and sessions are created for both the instances. What we will do, we will use the first instance for Nginx and Grafana. On second instance, we will run the Jenkins. Okay. Now go to the first instance, which is, let's verify the public IP is same. Private IP is same. So this is 172.31.6.227, and that is first instance, and this is second instance. So let me organize this as it is. Okay, perfect. So let's start running this command. We will update the packages on this instance, first instance. Then we can start installing Grafana. So if you wish to download Grafana from official documentation, that is also fine. You can go here and follow the instruction to install Grafana. Make sure you choose the free version. Okay. So it is downloading Grafana package. What it is going to do, so yeah, it will download the package and install it as well using dpkg. Now I'll modify the instructions here, or these are also working, you can follow these instructions, and once that is done, we will verify the status. It is taking some time. Do not interrupt this operation. Let downloading and installation of Grafana get completed. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll show you the ports required. So Grafana uses default port as 3000. So that port need to be accessible on this first instance. Whereas Jenkins use port 8080. So 8080 port needs to be open on the second port to access the Jenkins. And then Nginx will run on port 80 and 443, that we will discuss later. Okay, so those are the things we are going to do. All the instructions are here. You can follow these instructions, but these instructions are specifically for the Ubuntu instance. This AMI Amazon Linux based thing, I thought on the spot and providing you the instructions. So few things will change based on the operating system which you use. Okay. And okay, this is about Grafana installation. I'll meanwhile show you the Jenkins installation. I'll attach all these links in the description of the video. This is the same thing which we have followed so far. We created key pair, created security group, and launched EC2 instance. Okay, then this little documentation. Once that is done, we need to install Jenkins. We can update the packages, then install Jenkins. Oh, they should be follow. Okay, so let's start the installation on the second instance as well. Okay, what it's saying, no packages are available. Yeah, let's follow this. Then add the Jenkins repo using following command. We will add this repo. The good part is this documentation is for the Amazon Linux, and the instructions, if you wish to follow the instructions for Debian based or Ubuntu, then you can follow our GitHub. So I'll add the both the instructions in the readme soon. Okay, the Jenkins repo is added. Then import a key file from Jenkins CI to enable installation from the package. So let's do that. Upgrade, do the yum upgrade, and install Java. Okay, it is installing Java. Then install Jenkins. And enable the Jenkins. So this is very important term and very important question for during our DevOps SRE interviews. Enable, how to enable service at every boot time, so you don't need to start it again and again. So you can use the systemctl enable command to do that. Okay, then start Jenkins. Once that is done, you can check the status of the Jenkins. It is taking some time. Again, never interrupt or do Control C while doing any of this operation. We can check the status of Jenkins. So it is showing the process is running perfectly fine. Okay, let's check the Grafana. Grafana is taking some time. The package is huge, I guess. Meanwhile, what I'll do, I'll update these commands in our readme. Installing Java and Jenkins. So this, all these steps will take care. Okay. Perfect. Okay, Jenkins is running. So let me show you at least how to access Jenkins. As we discussed, the Jenkins default port is 8080. So if we wish to access the Jenkins from our machine, so we will open the port 8080 using security group. We will add new inbound rule here, add port 8080 and accessible from my IP. So this is Jenkins port. Okay, and copy the public IP of this instance, :88 http here. So this is the first page you will see, getting started page, unlock Jenkins, and it is asking for the initial admin password. How to find that? Either you can check it from the status of the Jenkins. So this is the command. So we need to check this command file varlib Jenkins secrets initial admin password. So just do the cat and this file, and it will provide you the initial admin password. Provide that password and click on continue. Install suggested plugins. So this is going to install recommended Jenkins plugins. Okay, this will take some time. Let's hope that our Grafana is ready now. It is 81%. Be patient, as I said, while running all these commands. If you interrupt, the package installation will fail and you will get more errors in the later stage. So it's better to stay calm, stay patient, and just to watch the how this installation is happening. Okay, it's almost done, 88%. I'll also attach these links here. Official doc for Grafana installation. And yeah, official doc for Jenkins installation. Okay, perfect. Almost done. It's saying that not starting on installation. Please execute the following statements to configure Grafana to start automatically using systemd. So let's run these commands. Okay, and we are going to start our Grafana as well. Let's verify the Grafana is running. Systemctl status Grafana server. Grafana is also running. So now you must have understood how to access Grafana and Jenkins. Any cases, just copy the public IP address, and Grafana is running on port, which is the default port of Grafana. It's 3000. So just put 3000 here and make sure you are using HTTP. Okay, so it will give us a Grafana dashboard. It's taking some time. It's not loading, and now you know the reason. We need to enable the port 3000 to be accessible from my machine. Okay, Grafana port. Now if we try again, it's loading Grafana dashboard. So this is initial page. It will ask you for the initial password, which is admin, and on the first time it will ask you to set the new password. So you can provide new password. Okay, so this is Grafana. Perfect. Now if you want detailed video on Jenkins or Grafana, just let me know. We will cover that in separate one-shot videos, but for now just go with simple something. So let me check if I have Grafana dashboard here. What we will do, we will use the existing public dashboard, and the public dashboard ID is 617. Create a new dashboard, import dashboard, and provide the dashboard ID. Okay, import. So this will create a default widgets from those dashboard, and it is loading that. Now the second thing is, it is saying that data source is not found. Okay, so let's try that as well. So we will go and is the data source. Okay, it needs the CloudWatch access. Okay, if you go to connections and in the data sources, you need to add a new data source, which is CloudWatch. So for this, it will ask you for the access key and the secret key or credential file. So you can create a new secrets here. Okay, just temporarily create credentials. I delete this. Create new access key and provide this access key and secret access key. In this configuration, connection details, just verify. CloudWatch metrics query failed. Default region is not selected. So it is asking us to select the default region, which is for us it is AP South 1. You can verify the default region, sorry, the Mumbai region, its code is AP South 1. So select that and save and test again. Yeah, now it's working. If you go back to dashboard, it should now start showing some details. Okay, it will take some time. Okay, let's fix this later. Let's complete the installation. For Jenkins, very simple process. This is not part of our exercise, just I want to cover it for now. Okay, save and continue. Email address, so it is asking. Let's provide all these details, save and finish, start using Jenkins. So now our Grafana and Jenkins is running. Now the next step is we need to start installing Nginx. So you can install Nginx on the first instance. Just run this command, sudo apt-get install Nginx. So as we discussed, Nginx can be Nginx can act as your reverse proxy, load balancer, caching server. It can distribute the traffic. So all those options are available with Nginx. Nginx doc. Okay. So all these options are available. If you wish, you can check out the commands, and we need to configure few details like this. This is a basic server block where you can define on particular path where the request should go. Same thing we are going to do. Okay, so we have this block created here. What you need to do, just open this file and you will see the default configuration of Nginx. Okay, so it does have one server block. So Nginx server is currently listening on port 80, and it is forwarding that request to root block, which is var www.html and index.html. So this is the default configuration. Okay, if you wish, you can edit this file and start adding your configuration. But let me show, if we, as we are saying that Nginx is currently listening on port 80, you will see here that Nginx is currently listening on port 80. Let's check if we open this port on first instance, port 80, what is default behavior currently. Okay, let's try to access Nginx. So same thing, port, IP address, public IP address :80. It is loading the default Nginx page. Welcome to Nginx. But what we want, when we type /Grafana or when we type grafana.local or jenkins.local, it should redirect to our Grafana or Jenkins. So let's copy this code and update this file. I'll delete this file and copy the exact thing. So now what we are saying, we are creating 3 server blocks here. Nginx is listening on port 80 and the server names are grafana.local and jenkins.local. So these server blocks we are creating below here. So one block, server block for grafana.local, one block for the jenkins.local. I'll walk you through the steps to create these endpoints. Okay, no worry. Then what we are saying, when there is HTTPS request, so this 443 port is for the HTTPS and port 80 is for the HTTP. Whenever there is a HTTPS request for the grafana.local, it should forward the traffic to Grafana. Okay, so we need to update these IP addresses. We know this is the path of our Grafana, which is nothing but HTTP : the IP address and :3000. So Grafana is listening on port 3000. We can provide the public or private IP, it is fine, but we will go with private IP since Nginx and Grafana is running on the same instance. Okay, same thing we will do. We will update the IP address for the Jenkins. Okay, now let's save this and what next? Once that is done, we need to create the self-signed certificate. So run this command. If you wish, you can use AWS certificate services as well, but for this exercise we will use the self-signed certificate. Okay, these certificates are created and certificate got generated and saved into this file etc nginx ssl server.cert. This is the certificate we are passing in the server block. If you see here, so it is going to create a HTTPS request. Okay, cert and keys available. Now the next thing is we need to I think this is not required, we will skip that. Now let's restart Nginx again and try to access our Grafana and Jenkins using this new configuration. Perfect. So what we will do, we will update etc host on our local machine. Okay, and add new entries. Add new entries for the public IPs of Nginx and the Grafana.local. So let's copy the public IP. One more entry. So Jenkins.local and Grafana.local. Okay. It's saying the file is. Let me do it again. We open the file in read-only mode. Let me do the same thing. Let's add the entries for Grafana.local and Jenkins.local. Okay, this is done. Okay, so this is the final Nginx configuration. You can copy the configuration from here. So what we have done so far, we created 3 server blocks. First block, what it's doing is whenever user is going to hit the request 80, it should redirect traffic to HTTPS. Okay, and then we are creating 2 separate blocks for Grafana.local and for Jenkins.local. So for to access the Grafana.local and Jenkins.local, we created HTTPS type blocks listening on 443, and we use self-signed certificates here. So you will find those instructions again here. You can generate the self-signed certificate and provide the paths using these parameters. Next, what we are saying, whenever a user is going to request Grafana.local, the request should get forwarded to the using Nginx proxy to Grafana, which is running on port 3000. And whenever user is going to hit Jenkins.local, the request should get forwarded to Jenkins, which is running on port 8080 of the second instance. So that is all configuration. Once your configuration is done, you need to reload Nginx, and additionally you can restart Nginx. Okay, on the security group of the first instance, you will need to add one more rule. You can remove the HTTP rule and have only HTTPS rule. Okay, perfect. So this is the for accessing the Nginx from my machine, and this you can change, this you can remove or you can keep it, that's fine. So let's go to our local machine and try to access https colon grafana.local, and you will see this kind of page. Since we are using self-signed certificates, browser don't recognize the certificates applied for the URL, so it's okay. Let's proceed, and this will take you to the Grafana. It will take some time, fine. Okay, so this is taking us to Grafana. Hopefully I'll remember the password. Yeah, and you will see this is the exact same thing which we implemented. Okay, great. Now we are also seeing some dashboard, and the data is also coming from these EC2 instance. This is the EC2 instance we have. Great. If you wish, you can check the first instance metrics and the graphs for the first instance or the second instance. So the Grafana is accessible through Nginx, and let's check for the reason it is not allowing me to access this. Let me try it one more time. So the server block is correct. Yeah, okay. Let me remove this on the block. Yeah, now it's loading. I've forgotten the password. Okay, anyways, the configuration is correct. Now if you remember the password, you will be able to see the Jenkins dashboard. But overall this is what we done. Now we set up Nginx, Grafana and Jenkins, and using Nginx we are accessing Grafana and Jenkins, which is running as a backend service. Okay, one last thing, once your assignment is completed, make sure you terminate these instances sessions first. Close everything. Now discover, you clear or terminate these instances, otherwise it is going to charge you once your credit gets expired. Okay, so it will take some time. Once that is done, you can remove the security groups and start fresh from the next time. Okay, instances are still deleting, so it will take some time. So yeah, make sure you clean up everything which you created for this assignment. Okay then, thank you very much. Let me come here. Okay, so that is a oral solution for our day 3 challenge. First, what you are going to do, log into your AWS account, then create AWS EC2 instances. On the first instance, you will install Nginx and Grafana, and on the second instance, you will install Java and Jenkins. All the instructions I have covered in the video. Then modify the security groups one by one. Also, we covered how to access these remote instances using session manager, so make sure you try that out. And also play with security groups in boundaries particularly, so you will get more understanding of why security groups are important and how to manage the security groups rules. Okay, then update the configuration of Nginx. Get familiar with different blocks available in the Nginx configuration, and then update your etc host on your local machine with those entries, and then you are good to access your Grafana and Jenkins using the domain which we created and using Nginx particularly. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video till the end, and I'll see you in the day 4 solution video next time. Okay.